Welcome to Fashion Cat Poshmark Tutorials. Today I'm going to be talking about parties. Yes, Poshmark has parties. You can enter into a party by clicking on the parties menu command, and you'll see some type of theme. Parties go on about 3 to 4 times a day throughout the day. They're usually always at the same time. You'll get invited to these parties automatically, and I believe they'll automatically be sent to your feed unless you indicate otherwise when you're signing up. I think there's a way to customize notifications in your settings, how often you want to be notified for things, but I have all my notifications on so that I always know what's going on. And they'll invite you to these parties and let you know what time they're going to be going on. You don't have to do anything special beforehand to attend them. You just click on the party. You can share items from your closet to these parties, and it's a great way to get exposure to your listings, particularly the listings that are themed for that party. Those are the items that you want to list and share in the party. Sometimes, if it's a very specific theme, like bags, it will not allow you to share a listing of a coat because it blocks it. Sometimes the theme is pretty open for interpretation, like fall favorites party. That can mean a lot of different things. So that gives you some more room to share whatever items that you interpret as fall items. So what I do with this, sometimes, even if I don't have anything that relates to that theme, I will still come in here and I will share to my followers. And remember that sharing to your followers is really going into this feed where you have a pool of people or other closets that are potential customers. So it's good to help others because when you share, it shows up on their information, their feed, that you've been sharing their item, and they're most likely going to share back. So I try to share a lot because that's part of the Poshmark courtesy, is to share and share alike, which is a great thing. So that's what I try to do. Also in Poshmark Parties, there are hosts and co-hosts. And you can be a co-host eventually. There is a way to sign up for co-hosting, and that will be another tutorial that I'll talk about that information. I'll also link the information in the information below the video so that you can check it out yourself if you don't want to wait for a video to be made. So once you're invited to co-host a party, the co-host gets to pick around 100 items from any closet. They try to pick items from new people's closet, like a certain percentage, so that new people get exposure to their items. And if you get picked for being a host pick, then you can indicate that you had a host pick in your listing. And that means a lot to people. That means other people favor this item for whatever theme it came from. And so it brings attention to that item. And that's pretty much the point of it. You can see the host picks by clicking in host picks on the left-hand side. And I like to share the host picks because it's kind of their glory, their day. And that's how you even gain or help them gain even more exposure. And you may ask, well, why am I helping other competitors? But that's because the courtesy will be passed on to you once you are a host pick. Also, what I've discovered is when I share, people share back. So they share in the celebration that they had this host pick. So it's a lot of fun. People get really excited about it, and it's a nice way to gain exposure, meet other poshers. It's a nice way to organize certain types of themes and get exposure to your items. Also, you can look at first look. First look is items from closets that have just been added right before the party. And like somebody, maybe you are planning to attend the party and you have a new coat that you want to list under fall favorites. So you make a listing for your coat and then you list it, and it'll fall under this category. I don't know what constitutes as first look as far as like how many hours it's been listed. I have no idea. But that's first look. These are newly listed items. Then it also categorizes by designer. So if you have designer name, like Dolce and Gabbana, then they're going to automatically categorize it into this section. And also new with tags. So when you're creating your listing, you're going to indicate if it's a new with tags item, and if so, is it a boutique item? I will be discussing those things in another tutorial. But new with tags, it has to be new with tags. It has to be a new item. It has to have a tag on it, never worn, to constitute as a new with tag. If not, people are going to get mad when they receive their item and it's been worn or the tag is not there and it looks worn. So make sure you're very accurate about your items. Parties last for 2 hours. Once a party is over, you can always go back and look at the archived items or the archived parties. They have the past parties listed. I don't know how far back they go. Probably only a week or two. I don't know. Maybe they go back to even more than that. I've never tried to see how far back they go. But that's another good reason why you would want to be a host pick, because if somebody goes back into the archived party, they will most likely go back into host picks to look at previous parties to see who were the host picks. And they might find your item if you were a host pick. I know for myself, if I go back into a past party, that's what I do. I go back and look at the host picks. So keep that in mind. And it's nice to just go back and look through items in previous parties to see if things are still available. And just to look through a group of items that have been listed through a theme. And that's what these parties pretty much do. They're themed parties, so you have an opportunity to look at, groups of specific items. Like sometimes they'll have designers like Coach and Michael Kors and some other brands, and those are the only items you can list. It'll block you if you try to list some other brand. So that gives you a lot of opportunities to get your listing exposed to other potential customers. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. There are more to come. I hope you will subscribe to my channel. Eventually, I am going to have some videos about selling and about how to become a suggested user, as well as a host or co-host. So stay tuned. I hope to. I hope that you will join my subscribers.